explanation, you base your explanation on giving example. So most of the time when you are writing illustration, you tend to be giving examples, whether you are giving a single example or probably extended examples. The reason why we raise example is because we just want to make sure that our ideas, are clearly understood by the readers. So let's just go straight to this. Illustration, or we can also call this one examples paragraph. In an illustration paragraph, the writer makes a point about a topic in the topic sentence, and he uses supporting details. So remember, the supporting details in illustration paragraph are the examples to support his or her point in order to make it clear. So basically, as I mentioned, the reason why you raise example is because you just want to make your ideas clearer. You want the reader to understand your ideas more clearly. Because examples clarify points and make the general more specific, illustration is a frequent component of all writing, whether it is description, narration, exposition, or persuasion. All right, so here, as you can see in this, illustration is the component of all types of writing. Whether you are writing, description, you need to sometimes raise example as well. When you are writing narration, exposition, or probably persuasion or other types of writing, you generally need to raise example. And as I mentioned, the only reason why you raise example is because you just want to make your idea clear for the reader to understand. Okay, so we can say that illustration is the important component of all writing. Whether you are writing description, you need example. You write narration, you need example. You write persuasion, you also need example as well. All right, so let's just move to the next one. Here, you will see this is the sample paragraph written by the student, and you will see the writer use a lot of point in order to show his or her illustration. Let's just have a look at this one. With my head in the clouds. I will read this paragraph for you, and when you just go straight one after another with me, you will see that this paragraph tend to be written giving a lot of examples to support the writer's topic sentence. All right, let's see. As someone who is 6'9" tall, I speak with authority when I say that the world is not set up for tall people. So if you look at the first sentence here, this is considered as a topic sentence for the paragraph. Right immediately after this topic sentence, you will see here the examples you praise in order to support why the writer has said that the world is not set up for tall people. For example, everything that is supposed to be high is too low. Not long ago, I was home for dinner with my parents. As I stood up from the table to go into the kitchen, I slammed my head into the chandelier, causing the light to sway wildly and my head to throb annoyingly for hours. Each time I enter the room, I must duck to avoid hitting my head on a door frame. Beds are also not made with the very tall in mind. I do not fit in a standard size bed to keep my feet from dangling off the end. Cars are an even bigger problem. I have to recline my seat and push it back to keep my head from scraping the ceiling. Because this is so uncomfortable and a little bit dangerous, I often drive with the sunroof open so I can keep the seat in the proper position. Of course, there is still the problem of getting into the car. I will smash my head if I forget to fold myself over like an envelope. Most people think that height has its own advantages, but on most days, I do not see them. You see, the reason why the writer has said the world is not set up for tall people, because the writer himself is tall. The writer himself is very tall, and that's the reason why he's complaining the world is not set up for tall people. And in order to support his idea, why he says that the world is not set up for tall people, he start raising example here. For example, everything that is supposed to be high is too low. That is one example. And the writer has used a lot of example in order to show why he has said that the world is not set up for tall people. So one, everything is supposed to be high is too low. Another one is, let me find another example. Here, beds are also not made with the very tall in mind. You see, this is one more example. You get my point, right? Another one, cars are an even bigger problems. You see, this is also another example the writer has raised in order to make his idea clear. Why he has said the world is not set up for tall people. Okay, so basically, in short, we can say that an illustration paragraph or illustrative paragraph is the one which based on example. You have to raise example in order to support your point. All right, let's just go straight to the analysis of the important parts of the illustration. Let's see supporting details. The supporting details for an illustration paragraph are examples that develop the topic sentence. Look again at with my head in the clouds. The topic sentence presents this idea as the central point of the paragraph. The world is not set up for tall people. You see, yeah, this is the main idea of the whole paragraph. The writer says that the world is not set up for tall people. And then after stating this in his topic sentence, he will actually raise example to support why he has said so. Here, you got 3 examples in order to support, okay? He got 3 examples. Everything that is supposed to be high is too low. And the thing he raised here like the chandelier and door frames. And then the second example, beds are too small. Okay, and the last one, cars are too small too. So here, to support this point, the author, the writer, uses several examples. One, everything that is supposed to be high is too low. The second one, beds are too small. The third one, cars are too small because you need to adjust the seat, driving with the sunroof open, getting into the car. Okay, so these are the 3 examples in order to support why he has said that the world is not set up for tall people. To have adequate detail, you should have enough examples to support your topic sentence. Okay, this is the important characteristics of a good paragraph, as I mentioned already. After you have finished writing your topic sentence, the next things you have to do is to come up with your supporting details. And in order to make sure that your supporting details are adequate, are enough, here you will have to use enough examples because the supporting detail in the illustrations are examples. Okay? In one paragraph, 3 examples are usually enough. You see? We will not limit the number of examples you need to raise in one single paragraph. Okay, you are not required to use 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 examples. You will have to actually consider how many examples you think are enough to support the point. But here, as suggested in this book, we usually need to raise at least 3 examples. So 3 examples are usually enough to support the topic sentence, which is the main idea of the paragraph. You see here, in one paragraph, 3 examples are usually enough. If they are highly detailed, if your examples are highly detailed, 2 examples may be enough. You may need only 2 examples. In addition, use specific nouns, verbs, and modifier to make your examples specific and follow general statement with specific ones. So in order to make sure that our examples are clear, we are trying to use a lot of specific nouns, specific verbs, and also the verbs and the noun will have to be together with the modifiers as well. Next one. It is often effective to place your example in emphatic order, saving your strongest examples for last. All right, everyone, because the illustration is the example paragraph, the one which you need to raise example to support your point. We generally use the example and we need to organize our example in emphatic order. When I say the examples need to be organized, need to be arranged in emphatic order, it just means that we will have to place our example from the least important to the most important examples last. That's how you organize your example in an emphatic order. You see here, it is often effective to place your examples in emphatic order, saving your strongest examples last. I mean, generally you will have to raise weak example, and your example become a bit stronger. The first example may be the weak one, the second example may be a bit stronger, and the last example, or maybe the third example, should be the strongest ones. The example in the paragraph with my head in the clouds are in emphatic order. The clue to this is that the last sets of example is introduced with the word an even bigger problem. You see, you can organize your example using the word in order to show the emphatic order. If your examples occur in a particular time order, you can arrange them in chronological orders as well. You may start by saying the first example, the second example, the last example. Okay? Here. Usually, in order to show example, you need to use the transitions that signal illustration, addition, and emphatic order. Here, 3. You learn that transitions help the reader identify the order of ideas. When you write your illustration paragraph, 3 kinds of transitions may be helpful. 1, transition that signal illustration. 2, transition that signals addition. The third one, transitions that signal emphatic order. These appear in the following chart. All right, let's see here. So remember, when you are writing illustration paragraph, you need to basically use 3 types of transition signal. The transition signal that, you know, show or that show the illustration, the transition signal that show addition, and the transition signal that show emphatic order. So let's see the first one, transitions that signal addition. So you may have also, and then, in addition to, furthermore, further, moreover, equally important, another, first, second, and third, and so on. So these are considered as transition that signal addition. The second one, transition that signal illustration. Here you may use the word, for example, for instance, as in like illustration of this, or to illustrate. All of these are used in order to show example. If you want to arrange your example in an emphatic order, you may need to use all of these transition signal. More important, most important, most of all, best of all, of greatest importance, least of all, even better, the best or the worst one, or the worst case, or maybe the best example, or the best instance, or the best time word here. So all of these are transition signal that show addition of idea in illustration, the transition signal that show examples in your illustration, and the transition signal that show the emphatic order, the order of importance. And generally, we organize our idea from the least important first to the most important last. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, you're still here, right? Very clearly.
Yeah.
All right. So up to this point, you have any questions? You have any question up to this point? You can raise before I move to the next. ចឹងគ្រូសូមបញ្ជាក់បន្តិចណាបងណាពាក្យថា illustration យើងយល់ហើយពាក្យ illustration មានថាការពន្យល់បង្ហាញដោយការលើកឧទាហរណ៍អញ្ចឹងបើយើងនិយាយពី illustration ឬក៏ illustrative paragraph មានន័យថាគឺជាសំណេរកថាខណ្ឌមួយដែលយើងសរសេរឡើងដើម្បីលើកឧទាហរណ៍អញ្ចឹងហើយបានជាគ្រូដាក់ក្នុងវគ្គកញ្ចក់ថា illustration គឺជា example paragraph សំណេរកថាខណ្ឌដែលផ្អែកសំខាន់ទៅលើការលើកឧទាហរណ៍ព្រោះយើងដឹងហើយថា illustration វាគឺជាប្រភេទមួយរបស់exposition នេះគឺជាការពន្យល់តើណាអាការពន្យល់នេះគឺការពន្យល់បែបឲ្យនិយមន័យដូចគ្រូបានពន្យល់ពីមុនអញ្ចឹងការពន្យល់បែបបង្ហាញអំពីភាពដូចគ្នាឬក៏ភាពផ្ទុយគ្នាការពន្យល់បែបបង្ហាញអំពីprocess ការពន្យល់បែបលើកឧទាហរណ៍ការពន្យល់បែបបែងចែកថ្នាក់អញ្ចឹងយើងកំពុងតែមើលទៅលើការពន្យល់តាមបែបលើកឧទាហរណ៍យើងដឹងហើយថាការពន្យល់មួយដែលច្បាស់លាស់នោះគឺជាការពន្យល់ដែលភ្ជាប់ជាមួយនឹងការលើកឧទាហរណ៍ព្រោះការលើកឧទាហរណ៍ហ្នឹងវាបានធ្វើឲ្យការពន្យល់របស់យើងហ្នឹងវាកាន់តែក្បោះក្បាយសូម្បីតែគ្រូបង្រៀនមេរៀនដើម្បីឲ្យមេរៀនហ្នឹងអាចយល់ឲ្យកូនសិស្សយល់បានគាត់ត្រូវការលើកឧទាហរណ៍ណាចឹងឧទាហរណ៍ហ្នឹងវាធ្វើឲ្យការពន្យល់ហ្នឹងវាកាន់តែច្បាស់ហើយឧទាហរណ៍ហ្នឹងគឺជាធាតុមួយដ៏សំខាន់នៅក្នុងសំណេរគ្រប់ប្រភេទទាំងអស់ទោះបីជាប្អូនសរសេរសំណេរកថាខណ្ឌប្រភេទណាក៏ដោយគឺប្អូនត្រូវតែមានការលើកឧទាហរណ៍ហើយព្រោះដើម្បីឲ្យការសរសេររបស់យើងវាកាន់តែច្បាស់គឺយើងត្រូវតែលើកឧទាហរណ៍បើយើងអត់លើកឧទាហរណ៍គេមិនអាចយល់ទេការពន្យល់របស់យើងគេមិនអាចយល់បានបាទណាអញ្ចឹងជាទូទៅដូចគេបានបញ្ជាក់នៅក្នុងមេរៀនយើងអញ្ចឹងការលើកឧទាហរណ៍ហ្នឹងគេអាចនឹងឲ្យយើងលើកឧទាហរណ៍ជាទូទៅណាជាទូទៅអាច3ឧទាហរណ៍បើយើងនិយាយទៅវាត្រូវនឹងស្តង់ដាររបស់គេព្រោះការសរសេរសំណេរកថាខណ្ឌមួយយើង idea របស់យើងហ្នឹង main idea របស់យើងហ្នឹងវាត្រូវតែមាន2ឬក៏3 main idea ប៉ុន្តែដោយសារតែយើងសរសេរជាបែប illustration បែបលើកឧទាហរណ៍supporting detail របស់យើងហ្នឹងគេคล้ายទៅជាឧទាហរណ៍ហើយអញ្ចឹងបើស្រីអញ្ចឹងឯងបានបងប្អូនគេសរសេរសំណេរកថាខណ្ឌបែបទូទៅយើងច្រើននិយាយថា there are 3 reasons why there are 3 factors ឃើញទេអាហ្នឹង3ឬក៏4អីគេអាហ្នឹងគឺសិតតែជាចំណុច main idea ហើយប៉ុន្តែឥឡូវនេះគេលែងហៅថា supporting detail ហើយព្រោះនៅក្នុងការសរសេរ illustration supporting detail របស់យើងគឺ example ដូច្នេះការសរសេរ illustration មួយគឺបងអូនត្រូវការឧទាហរណ៍ចំនួន3គឺគ្រប់គ្រាន់ហើយដើម្បី support ទៅលើ topic sentence របស់យើងហើយការរៀបចំឧទាហរណ៍របស់យើងហ្នឹងក៏យើងមិនមែនចេះដាក់ឧទាហរណ៍តែពីទីដែរយើងត្រូវតែរៀបចំឧទាហរណ៍យើងទៅតាមប្រភេទរបស់វាទៅតាមសារៈសំខាន់របស់វាឧទាហរណ៍ណាដែលមិនសូវសំខាន់គេសរសេរមុនអញ្ចឹងមក ที่ฮอได้สำคัญเชียงเกษตรประตบให้ที่ฮอได้สำคัญជាងគេបំផុតជាទូទៅត្រូវបានគេសរសេរចុងក្រោយហើយយើងអាចមើលគំរូឧទាហរណ៍នៅក្នុងសំណេរនេះបានបងប្អូនមើលអានេះទៅដឹងហើយដំបូងគេនិយាយថា for example everything that is supposed to be high is too low ក្នុងគេចង់និយាយថាមានដូចជាអីគេ chandelier ហើយនឹងdoor អីចឹងទៅ door frame អញ្ចឹងទៅហើយបន្ទាប់មកទៀតឧទាហរណ៍ដែលសំខាន់បន្ទាប់នេះ beds are also not made for the very tall in mind អាហ្នឹងសំខាន់បន្ទាប់ហើយសំខាន់បំផុតបងប្អូនមើលគេដាក់ថាម៉េចមើលខ្ញុំរកឲ្យ cars នេះបងប្អូនមើល cars are an even bigger problem ឃើញទេនេះគេប្រើពាក្យ bigger problem ហ្នឹងគឺចង់និយាយថាការរៀបចំឧទាហរណ៍របស់គេហ្នឹងគឺគេរៀបចំតាមបែប emphatic order ឧទាហរណ៍ដែលមិនសូវសំខាន់គេលើកមុនឧទាហរណ៍ដែលសំខាន់បន្ទាប់គេលើកបន្ទាប់ឧទាហរណ៍ដែលសំខាន់ជាងគេបំផុតគឺគេលើកចុងក្រោយអាហ្នឹងគេហៅថាការរៀបចំឧទាហរណ៍របស់យើងទៅតាមលំដាប់លំដោយ emphatic order យល់ទេបងយល់ទេ
Yeah, teacher.
អូខេឥឡូវយើងមើលឧទាហរណ៍មួយទៀតមកបងនឹងឃើញថាតើសំដីកថាខណ្ឌបែប illustration ហ្នឹងគេលើឧទាហរណ៍ហ្មងបាទយើងមើលនេះ even when a first date is a disaster a couple can still become good friends ឃើញទេគេថាបើទោះបីជាការណាត់ជួបដំបូងគឺជារឿងបរាជ័យមួយក៏ដោយគូដែលណាត់ជួបគ្នាហ្នឹងក៏អាចក្លាយទៅជាមិត្តភក្តិដ៏ល្អមួយដែរណាតោះនេះអញ្ចឹងហេតុអីបានជាការណាត់គ្នាដំបូងគឺជារឿងបរាជ័យមួយទោះបីជាវាបរាជ័យក៏ដោយប៉ុន្តែគូសង្សារដែលណាត់ជួបគ្នាហ្នឹងក៏អាចក្លាយទៅជាមិត្តល្អបានដែរហើយគេហ៊ានថាអញ្ចឹងគឺគេនឹងបញ្យល់ដោយការលើកឧទាហរណ៍ឲ្យបងមើលណាគេថាម៉េច even when a first date is a disaster a couple can still become good friends for example my first date with Craig was terrible. I thought he was coming to pick me up at 6:30, but instead he came at 6. I didn't have time to do my hair and my makeup looked messy. When I got into his car, I scraped my leg against the car door and tore my tights. Next, he took me to an Italian restaurant for dinner and I accidentally dropped some spaghetti on my shirt. នេះឧទាហរណ៍បន្តមកនេះអញ្ចឹងបងមើលការលើឧទាហរណ៍នេះ first for example my first date with Craig was terrible នេះគឺណាត់ជួបម៉ោង 6 កន្លះគាត់មកទទួលម៉ោង 6 អញ្ចឹងអាហ្នឹងជា disaster មួយហើយប៉ុន្តែអាហ្នឹងជារឿងសាមញ្ញអញ្ចឹងហើយបានគេសរសេរមុនហើយបងក៏លេខមើលទៅលើ next ឯង he took me into Italian restaurant for dinner and I accidentally dropped some spaghetti on my shirt អានេះគឺជាឧទាហរណ៍មួយទៀតដែលវាសំខាន់ជាងដំបូងណា then we went to a film. Craig asked me which film I wanted to see and I chose a romantic comedy. He fell asleep during the film and I got very angry នេះទី2បាទណាត់គ្នាទៅមើលកុនហើយយើងជ្រើសកុនដែលគេមើលទៅគេដេកលក់បាត់ However, now that Greg and I are good friends, we can look back and laugh at how terrible that first date was. You see? So this example, this paragraph based on the example, and as I told you already, the examples, usually 3 examples are enough to support 1 paragraph. Okay, you have any question, everyone? តោះពួកយើងមានចម្ងល់មានបញ្ហាអីតាក់ទងជាមួយនឹង illustration How about others? Mother, you have any other question?
No, teacher.
Okay, it's almost time to end our live because we have only 45 minutes live. ចេះបងណាដោយសារតែយើងរៀន online កុំឲ្យវាទៅលឿនពេកអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំនឹង live តែ45នាទីដំបូងទេហើយ45នាទីក្រោយនោះគឺគ្រូនឹងដាក់ការងារឲ្យធ្វើហើយណាយើងបរៀនតែចំណុចបន្តិចទៅបានហើយតម្រុំឲ្យយើងត្រឡប់បានទៅរៀននៅក្នុងថ្នាក់វិញណាស្គាល់ទេ
Dạ thưa cháu.
Okay, let me check your attendance before we finish, and after that, I will send you the activity, and you can do the activity. Keep it when we go back to our classroom. You can just give it to me, okay?
Dạ thưa cháu.
Okay, let Kena. A strong. It has a knee. It has an in here, no? Hey, Narat.
Yes, teacher.
Come so.
Dạ thưa cháu.
Keep please a pin. Monira. Nori.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, and Osma. Here.
Teacher,
Yeah.
she asked permission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Straight Pete. No, straight Pete, no. What they wrong. No, wrong. Marida. Solida
Yes, teacher.
and Sri Liep. Two Sri Liep. Okay, everyone. I will prepare the activity and send it to you. Let me show you the activity for a bit, and then you can leave the live and start doing the activity. We have only 3 minutes left. Let me show you. You see this one? Everyone?
Yeah, teacher.
Yeah, practice
teacher.
supporting detail for illustration paragraph. Complete this practice with some classmates. Under each topic sentence, list 3 examples that can be used for supporting details. The first one is done as an example. Miss Lina did more work than the average 5th grade teacher. Here, you see 3 examples here. She took her class camping to collect leaf specimens. She visited a sick student at home to tutor her. She skipped lunch to grade papers. So you got 3 examples here. And what you have to do is to look at these 3 topic sentences and come up with at least 3 examples for each. Here, tension is part of a college student's life. Car can be more trouble than they are worth. Television advertisements often mislead the public. 5. Parents sometimes take children where they do not belong. And the last one, shopping mall are a source of entertainment. So 3 examples for each topic sentence. Okay.
Dạ thưa cháu.
All right, I think that's it for today. You can just have your break and enjoy your activity.
Goodbye, teacher.
Okay.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye. I will send you this material.
Goodbye, teacher. Goodbye.
Okay.